Well, hello, my friends. Super happy to connect here with you today. In this episode, I have my good friend Drew Harris. We're going to talk about invigorating your studio practice.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Well, Drew, good to see you. You are joining me all the way from Malaysia, but very excited because very soon you're going to be joining me right here, right in Chicago area. You're coming here. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm very good. Yeah, very excited about that. I'll be sitting right in front of that blue screen with you.
Exactly. And we won't have to use the technology. It will actually be in person. So I want today to talk a little bit about invigorating your studio practice. Because that's a topic that you are so passionate about that I'm always, learning from you in this area because we connect just about every day. We share what's happening in our studios. And, when I see what you're doing and when you talk about what you're doing, it invigorates my own studio practice. And we want to share a little bit of that with our friends too, because one of the reasons you're coming here to Chicago, there's multiple reasons, but let's say one of them, the one that originated everything.
Visit you.
Yes, visit us here. You're coming for a solo exhibition at 33 Contemporary, which is going to be really awesome. We'll talk about that in a minute too. And that opens on September 16. It's a solo show. And then the 17 and 18, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to do another Weeble retreat for artists. The exception on this one is that you're going to be here in person. We have done them before virtually. They have been awesome and amazing. But this time, is like a unique opportunity for our friends not to be missed because it's going to be in person. We're going to be here face to face with the artists in one room. So super happy about that. Drew, give us just a couple sentences about this fabulous show that is coming here to Chicago.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I have to thank 33 Contemporary and of course for the Weevolve, you and Dr. Yanina. I think, I'm really super excited, first of all, because, when you and I first met and we started discussing the opportunities, the idea is to, build, more potential for our careers and to widen our audience. So I think the main thing is that you made me realize and for me to take, the initiative to start looking elsewhere from where I am currently. Mm-hmm. We all need to do that. So this show came about and it's called the Magnetic North Paintings. Mm-hmm. It's about it's a continuation of my work from the Peninsula series, which is based on, environment and land. Mm-hmm. And this show particularly is about Canada and mm-hmm. North America. Mm-hmm. So this is a really great opportunity for me. It's been 20 years wow. Since my last show in Chicago. And so this has been a real welcome opportunity. And, it's getting me out into the world.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the Chicago comeback.
Chicago comeback, man.
Super excited. And let's talk about our studio practice, because I think as artists and all of our artists who are watching the show right now, we have all something in common. Every day we walk in that room, we face, the piece of sculpture or the piece of canvas or material that we have at our disposal, whatever that may be. And then we approaching it, creating something. That's kind of like the commonality. No matter where we are in the world, if we call ourselves artists, we walk into that space and we create something. And that space could be a kitchen table, could be a big room, could be anything, could be in the train station, waiting for the next train to arrive, and art happens. It's a magical thing, right?
It really is. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit in your career as an artist, how you maintain a studio practice that continues to invigorate you as a person.
Well, I think that, again, like you say, it's different for everybody. For myself, mm-hmm. I sort of live and work in my studio mm-hmm. building. So I'm always here in my studio. My brain is always engaged in something creative here. I can't really get away from it. So I'm very fortunate in many ways, because when, the inspiration hits, and it hits often. Sometimes it doesn't, but when it does hit, I can come into the studio. I can start preparing my work. Uh, you know, I'm I'm a bit of a routine-based artist. I do like a specific routine that I follow. I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, I check the news, do a lot of what everybody else does,
Yeah.
make sure that everybody's set for the day. And then I go into the studio. And that usually lasts until early evening, but never later than that. So the routine is really important to me. And I know where my materials are. I can flow from one day into the next, and keeping that flow going is so important. Keeping your hand moving, keeping your materials moving, it's all very important in the studio practice, because I think there's a point where you can, if given too many days away, too many days on holidays, or too many days away from sort of studio thinking and studio practice, you can lose it. And it takes that much longer to get back in, get the flow going. So this is my advantage, I think, as a painter. And many of us do have our studios in our homes. So, there is an advantage to being right there. You can just move right in and keep moving.
Do you also think that has contributed over the years, to really help you stay on track in your work? I mean, for our friends who have seen some of the episodes that we have done before, where we have talked about our story, how I saw your work many, many years ago, and then I saw it again 20 years later, and that's when we met here through social media. And one thing that really impressed me is the consistency of your work over that period of time. Of course, your work changed and evolved and so on, matured, but there was a sense of consistency. That was the same Drew Harris I saw, in that show in Chicago 20 something years ago, and I saw your work and it was as fresh as that time. So do you feel that, this constant routine on the studio practice, making it really a priority that has helped you kind of stay on track and not that you're like be everywhere or going into some?
Well, it's an interesting question that you ask, because as an artist, I'm always I'm second guessing myself, and a lot of us do. We're curious people. I'm a curious person. I like materials. I like methods. So I'm always kind of second guessing myself, saying, well, I'm not doing what I was doing last week or the week before that. But I think you look chronologically over a body of work, 10 years or 5 years or even 5 weeks, there's a consistency in our work. You have it, I have it, all the artists that I know through the Art Next Level, we all have that consistency. We can see it from the outside. Oftentimes, the artists themselves can't see it.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and that is, I think, one of the key things with this Weave Evolve that I like to get into, to see, to present to the artist himself what I see, because it's often not what they see. So, I look at my work the same way. I have to really look at what others are, how others are seeing my work, in order to sort of have an objective and an objective opinion on my work. So this is the kind of thing we need to do. We need to step back and
and it's often that like sometimes we send each other a picture of what's happening in the studio. It's totally different to what we're normally doing. And like, I just needed to do this today, like maybe for you going in like this black and white piece, and then for me maybe going into something totally abstracted, and then we kind of flush that out, and then we keep coming back.
Because I think it's like anything, you become stale. I think if you rely on a certain technique or a certain practice, as artists, we become stale. I am not an artist to stay with one style, or I have elements in my work that remain consistent throughout the 35-year career, but my ideas change, my concepts change, and that usually is in series work. So each series has got a slight different bent and it's different materials, different colors, depending on where I'm, influenced by.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's we should do that. We
Yeah.
should be moving, and we should be experimenting and getting excited about what we're doing, even if it's something that's, as the old adage goes, go in and do something that scares you every
Right.
day. And I think a lot of us don't do that.
You're right.
We
Right.
must.
Taking the high risks, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you said something really interesting, about, doing something that scares you. And sometimes, something that happens in the Weeble retreat is that we have art critiques, right? You critique every artist that comes in, and that, could feel like scary. Oh no, what Drew's going to say, that's good, that's not good, but then you are so good at making the artist feel at ease, making feel that this is a conversation. You're not the God who's gonna say that's good, that's bad, but let's talk about how can we challenge this. So tell us a little bit about the process of critique that you specifically do with the artists inside the Art Next Level, the Weeble retreat, especially the one that we're gonna have soon.
Yes. Well, you know what? It's really exciting. It's nerve-wracking for both them and me,
Yeah.
because I have to be conscious of their artistic integrity, where and what they are doing, and how they are presenting to the group their work. And what I like about it is, as I'm a curious person like yourself, I can walk in and I take it like I walked into their studio. Okay, now I already have some experience with them because I've looked through their Instagram and their Facebook and all their social media. They've given me a review to a certain degree of what they hope to achieve, so I have that in mind already. But going in, I'm deeply respectful of each artist, despite what they're doing, whether it be sculpture, painting, drawing, printmaking. And there are areas that I don't have experience in, but I need to learn myself. So I can pick up on something that they say, and then have them speak about it. And really, they answer the questions. They answer their own questions. It's only me as a facilitator that can get them thinking in that regard, to see something completely different. I can move them in that direction, and then they say, aha, it's one of those moments, it's an aha moment.
Right.
And they say, oh my God, I didn't see that.
Right.
So that's really important. And that's a friendship. We develop a friendship, we develop a trust, and I think that's really important. We've all been criticized and, critically too often, where we come away feeling not hurt so much, but almost dejected, and not inspired. I want to inspire.
Yeah, totally. And the comments always after the critiques, from artists who attend the Weeble retreat, it's always fabulous, and they feel, and just like we said at the beginning, invigorated to go back in the studio. And even for all of us who are watching you interact with the artists, because the critiques are public within the group, we learn, just by hearing others, by looking at the interactions, we cannot wait to get back in the studio right after a Weeble retreat, because we feel invigorated. Even, myself, which I'm not in the hot seat, on the retreat, but I'm like, I cannot wait to get back in the studio after this retreat, and with so much inspiration, so much idea, so much things happening. There's something that happens.
Myself too. In every Weevolve we've done, I've come away thinking about one or two of the applications that I saw, or the directions that some of these artists were taking. And I think, that's an interesting angle. How can I apply it to my work? And that's the give and take of this Weevolve, because it's an idea to, it's a forum to really talk about ideas and exchange ideas and get excited. Because if we're not excited, our work is going to show.
Right.
And sometimes these individuals are there at Weevolve because they're at a point where they perhaps are not so much stagnant, but maybe slowed a bit in their career. And they're thinking, how do I take what I've got and just give some sort of new spirit to it?
Yes, exactly.
And that's what happens. They walk away and they go, I can do this, and I'm going to take this in a new direction. All the artists we've ever spoken to have come away with some incredible advancements.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
It's
Yeah.
really exciting. And that's where the name comes from. We evolve, like all together,
Yeah.
we evolve, right? Because we are always evolving as
Totally.
artists. We're always kind of moving, growing, and so on and so. And particularly, I think today, Drew, I don't know what you think about this, but I think because of we have social media, we have all these outlets, we almost feel like now the critiques that are just likes or quick comments here and there, but it's so necessary for us as artists to have, those more in-depth, critiques with people that we respect, that other artists who been going through the same road, the same journey, and are ahead of us, to hear what they say, to hear how, what we can learn from them, which is more than a like or, oh, I love that, a quick comment here and there, which is often, how we are all surrounded by these days.
And isn't that great? I mean, you sum it up perfectly for every one of us, because we, like yourself and like almost all of us, a like is a like. But when someone takes the time to actually write to us in a public forum and say, I really like the application here. It's dark, or it's I can see something that I can relate to in your work. It really makes us relook at our work.
Exactly.
In refinement, and I think that's the dialogue that we get going in Weevolve, and we hope sort of keeps going in our social media.
Absolutely. Well, Drew, we are super excited to have you. It's going to be a great, fabulous time here. So, friends, if you want to sign up, come to Chicago if you're not in Chicago, and if you are here already, there are not many spots left available. So make sure you go to theartistnextlevel.com/Weevolve, or just look here in the comments. The description of this video, you will find the link as well. If you're listening to the podcast, you will find it there as well in the description. Sign up. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to be in person. The first one that we do in person. Hopefully we'll do more in the future, but it's a rare occasion that we can be together here in Chicago for Weevolve. And those artists who are already signed up, they're like excited to be there on the 17th and 18th of September. So looking forward to that. Drew, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are preparing for the trip and getting ready and packing and doing all the appropriate things that need to be done. And I just want to thank you one more time. And where can our friends find you if they would like to see some of your work?
Yeah, you can see me on, Instagram at Drew Harris Art. You can see me on Facebook. And that's really, and my website is drewharrisart.com. And those are the three main avenues that I put my work up on. And I, too, thank you for this great opportunity. I mean, it's a collective engagement on this, and we're all a part of this. And I'm so excited because it's live.
Exactly. That's going to make the huge difference.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. I just can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Drew. Thank you to all our friends watching. And yes, don't forget, it's very important for us to connect, to engage with others, to be part of our community, and to invigorate our own studio practice. Have a good day. We'll see you later.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.